Last month, Facebook garnered widespread praise and certainly attention for its reintroduction of the Atlas ad-serving platform, which allows Facebook and Facebook advertisers to reach consumers across devices and across platforms, including off of Facebook, even offline. Here to talk about the challenges and opportunities of reaching a truly connected consumer, Atlas head Erik Johnson. Welcome, Erik.
Thank you. Well, hello. I think that's the first time in my life I've actually walked out of a shipping container. So I can post that to Facebook on my life challenges fulfilled. That was worth it. My name is Erik Johnson, and I head up the Atlas business at Facebook. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about people-based marketing and how that's changing the world of marketing. And to kind of bring the point home, we're going to talk specifically about a certain demographic, that demographic being young people, or next gen, as it says on the slide here. And this demographic is particularly important to marketers for a couple of reasons. The first is, if you get this demographic set on buying your product, they'll buy it for the rest of your life. So marketers really focus on getting those young people buying their brands and their products early on. So there's always been some interest there. But as the pace of technology has sped up, this has taken on even more importance because the young people today are using technology in ways that some of us in the room aren't used to. And they're leading us down a path of technology that's important for everyone in the marketing community to really understand. So let's start with a little context of what I mean by next generation. It used to be you just cared about having a warm meal and a roof over your head. Then people started caring about being able to watch TV, go out to eat, other things. For young people today, being connected is the most important thing in their lives. They need to have access to Wi-Fi networks. They need to make sure that their devices are fully charged. In fact, if you talk to a young person today, they'll say the number one thing that stresses them out, that keeps them up at night, is FOBO. The fear of being offline. Some of us grew up with the fear of missing out as being something that was important. If you're a young person today, you need to be connected at all times. And if you're not, it's very stressful. It's a stressful environment. Now, on top of that, young people have multiple devices. They don't just carry a smartphone. They're connected through multiple different touch points. This is the community that we as marketers want to spend the most time reaching. And it's the most challenging group to actually engage with. Now, I'll give you a little data to support this. In around 2012, for the first time in 60 years, one medium passed another as the predominant source of media consumption. So television passed radio back in the 40s or 50s or 60s, depending on where you lived. But in roughly 2012, and this happened almost everywhere, online surpassed television. The principal driver for that was mobile. The proliferation of mobile devices tipped the world to spending more time online than spending time on television. Now, it's not as simple as saying that people have moved online or moved onto mobile. It's actually quite a complicated landscape. 60% of people use more than one device in any given day. And over 20%, almost 25% of people use 3 or more devices in any single day. Now, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, had a really good quote recently. What he said was, mobile doesn't mean that the device can move. It doesn't mean it's about a mobile phone. He said mobile means that people can move. They're on the go at all times. So rather than a world where mobile means I have a phone with me, what mobile really means is I can connect to the internet from almost anywhere I am. I can use my smartphone while I'm waiting for the bus. I can use my tablet at the end of the day when I get home from work. I can use my work computer when I'm in the office. That's what mobile means. And we have some data that supports this. Over 40% of all interactions online begin on one device and finish on another. Now that's not true for everything. If you're playing a mobile game and you start playing on your phone or you start playing on your laptop, you're more likely to continue that on that same device. But think about marketing, e-commerce. Those are scenarios where people begin a transaction on one device and finish it on another. And we're close to the point where the majority of those transactions will happen on multiple devices. I'm going to talk to you about 3 fundamental challenges facing marketers. This is the first one. 25% of time is spent online for all the reasons I just went through. More devices, more ability to interact across any different time or place and different form factors. But yet only 10% of marketing budgets are on mobile. One of the biggest challenges if you're a digital marketer or any kind of marketer today is that mobile marketing has not kept pace with mobile usage. Why? Because we're using an outdated technology called the cookie. Here are some statistics to support why cookies don't work in a mobile world. Cookies tend to overstate reach. So if you look at a report of how many people you reached based on cookies, you'll think you reached 100 people. But in reality, you only reached 74. Now, the flip side is also true. You reach fewer people, but people end up seeing more ads. 41% understatement of frequency with cookies relative to what a people-based system would show you. So in that world, you may think you're delivering only 6 ads to each person. But in reality, you're delivering 10. Now this gets to the second big challenge that mobile marketing has, which is that people want to see better ads. If people are getting spammed, if you're sending people 10 ads instead of 6, people start having a negative reaction at some point. In fact, it gets worse than that. This data is from Nielsen. 59% accuracy in demographic targeting. That's the average for cookies. So if you're a marketer and you're trying to reach females 18 to 34, almost half the time you might be reaching males or in the wrong age demographic. It's a terribly unreliable way to do marketing. We just don't know enough about the people that we're serving ads to. Now, this is actually my favorite slide. This is the good news piece of this. If you go talk to a marketer, CMO on down, anyone in the marketing organization, what they will say is, I'm under all of this pressure to show that my marketing is working. And for a long time, people have said, digital marketing, yeah, it works pretty well, but it could do better. We actually know that digital marketing works better than you think it does. It works better because people are not getting credit for ads seen on one device that drove a conversion on another. Remember, I said 41% of interactions begin on one device and end on another. In that world, it's logical to assume that people will see an ad on one device and convert on another. So you may think your ads drove 10 sales, but they actually drove 12. As a marketer in the digital space, you're doing a better job than you think you are. Now, this is the third big challenge for marketers. So all of that can be true. We can have a flawed system with cookies that makes it hard to deal with the cross-device and the growth of mobile. We can have a world where accuracy is bad, and so targeting doesn't work as well as it should. But we also live in a world where 94% of all sales still happen offline. So if you're a marketer and you're running lots of ads online, you need to be able to somehow tie those back to offline to demonstrate that your marketing is actually working. Those are the 3 big challenges. The solution is people-based marketing. Facebook has 1.3 billion people on the platform. 1 out of every 5 minutes spent on the internet is spent on Facebook. This data set is what allows Atlas to bring to market people-based marketing. Now, Now, people-based marketing means two things to start. First, it means knowing who has seen your ad. I just told you in a cookie-based world, it's almost impossible to know who's seen your ad on what device with any degree of demographic accuracy. But in a people-based world, marketers can pull a report and see exactly who they reached based on the real demographic information that people are sharing on Facebook. The second thing they can do is they can target. So it's not enough just to run a report to say, who saw my ad? You can build targeting based on Facebook data that has real demographic data. Now, people-based marketing and using people as a solution enables some other very interesting scenarios. The second is cross-device by design. So I painted the problem statement, which is that there's a massive growth in devices. People are using 2, 3, 4 devices in any given day. And those devices, they begin transactions on one device and finish on another. Atlas is cross-device by design. If I have 2 or 3 devices and I'm a Facebook user, it's likely that I'll be using Facebook across all of those different devices. And if I've used Facebook in the last 30 days on any device, we can stitch those stories together to say that what looked like 3 or 4 different cookies is actually one person just seeing ads on different devices. This enables more accurate reporting. It enables more accurate targeting. Both of those are important because they reduce the cost to running marketing, but equally important, if not more importantly, they make for a better experience for consumers. Offline to online. I mentioned that 94% of sales happen offline. One emerging trend that you're probably all familiar with in this room is that increasingly when you go to a store to purchase something, the merchant will say, let me have your email address or your phone number. And they will ask you that so they can email you a receipt. Or maybe you decide to sign up for their loyalty program, and as part of that you have to share some information. If that email address corresponds to the email address you use on Facebook, we can now stitch together ads that you've seen anywhere on the internet with a purchase that you made in a store. Facebook has had this functionality for some time now, but with Atlas, we're able to take the cross-device and the people-based and the offline to online story that Facebook has and move it to the rest of the internet. And the last piece is about accurately and confidently measuring. So there's a buzzword in the industry, multi-touch attribution, MTA. It's one of those terms that get thrown around all the time, and if you ask 10 people for a definition of MTA, you'll probably get 10 different answers. And the reality of why that is challenging is that the data that plugs into MTA has never been robust enough to allow somebody to build a proper multi-touch attribution system. With Atlas, because it's people-based, we can see what ads people saw in different points of the conversion funnel. We can see how an ad on mobile led to an engagement on desktop and a purchase on a tablet. Those are the inputs that are critical to making multi-touch attribution work and allowing for a more robust measurement system. In addition, it enables more accurate targeting. You can do retargeting based on who has seen what ads, who has got to that shopping basket but not actually pulled the trigger on converting. You can bring that data together and build targeted segments that not only let you measure how effective your ads are, it allows you to tweak things to drive more conversions. Now, I want to bring it back to how we started this conversation, which is around the next gen. I talk to people all the time in the marketing community. Some of them are CMOs, some of them have jobs similar to mine, where we're talking about technology and how it enables better marketing. And I would say most people feel strongly that what we're proposing with Atlas, the people-based solution, is the right thing. But the thing that keeps me up at night is that we as an industry aren't moving fast enough. That generation that I showed at the beginning, whose number one concern is being offline, that's not the kids who are 10 years old today. Those are people who are in college. They'll be entering the workforce or are entering the workforce already. As marketers, we need to move quickly to a solution in order to reach that demographic, but build the infrastructure so we can continue to have people-based marketing as new people come online. So with that, I will close. Thank you very much.